and that is that Bitwise just dropped some fire. And this is in reference to filing a staking to its Ethereum ETF. This would be huge because, again, it could move some of those people in money markets off high center into Ethereum ETFs, which could have higher yields than those money markets. So be watching that as we get a little closer. Here's Matt. He's talking about ETH being the leader. Take a look.
What are they excited about? They're excited about stablecoins. They're excited about tokenization. They're excited about agentic AI. If I look at who's the market leader in those three areas, Ethereum has the largest share of stablecoin issuance. It has by far the largest share in the tokenization market. It's the leader in the agentic AI space. If you just look at where the demand is bubbling up, it's still bubbling up on ETH and ETH layer 2s. But anyone writing off Ether is ignoring the fact that that's where the users still are in the things people think are going to be multi-trillion-dollar markets in the near term. I don't worry about ETH's ability to monetize them. It'd be like Facebook if it did ads 2 years after it was formed. It was too early. What I worry about is, are the things that are going to be multi-trillion-dollar markets being built at least in part on ETH? And when I look at those three things, ETH is the leader.
So here's a tweet from Eleanor, and this is really getting into the Genius Act and just how quickly this is moving through the administration. This is going into a markup, which is happening on Wednesday. And this is positioned now to push through the House and the Senate pretty quickly. So this is going to be faster maybe than what we initially thought. It's very possible we could even have a vote on it this week. So the other things I want to take a look at is, what does this mean to the rest of the industry, primarily the financial industry? Well, banks are starting to freak out a little bit, as well as CNBC. Take a look.
Stablecoin legislation today. President Trump said that he wants a stablecoin bill on his desk soon. He's got a lot going on with the tariffs. I can't even imagine he wants to focus on stablecoins. Congressman, what do you think happens to all of the big credit card companies, for example? There is an effort, as you know, by all of these startups to try to upend the entire world with which your committee effectively oversees.
Yeah. And now they may well migrate at retail and wholesale on a payment rail with a stable coin. But what bank and...
The reason I asked the question is, should I be long Visa or should I be short Visa?
Yeah.
Some people would argue if stablecoin works,
a
Visa should their margin should come down.
And what do the lobbyists come to you and kind of pressure?
My view is, when you have a big brand name like Visa or MasterCard, that gives you a marketing advantage to introduce a payment stablecoin rail in your world. And the same would be true for PayPal. I think you'll see bank and non-bank competition here. And don't we all thrive on more competition?
What do you hear from the banks, the credit card companies, and beyond? What are they coming up?
They want level treatment, definitely.
The impact that stablecoins could have on MasterCard, Visa, American Express, anybody that's charging fees to retailers and consumers to be able to utilize the service. And I think that's where stablecoin is really going to disrupt a lot of this. We will see a lot of fintech companies that are going to disrupt all of this, so much so that even MasterCard themselves went out, and this happened today during all of this, is MasterCard is working on a blockchain to connect TradFi and crypto. So traditional finance and crypto. There was no real alignment or even roadmap of how they were going to do it. I think they were responding primarily to the fact that we are going to see a stablecoin bill come through pretty quickly. Let me go to this tweet right here by Matt Hogan. Let me kind of show you case. This is in reference to Senator Gillibrand that made this statement. Do you want a stablecoin issue to be able to issue interest? Probably not, because if they're issuing interest, there's no reason to put your money in a local bank. If there's no reason to put your money in a local bank, who's going to give you a mortgage? And that was the story. Does she really think that a free market will not find a way to loan money to people who want a house? And that's the point that I think a lot of people are missing. The old guard doesn't really understand the disruption that we are about to see. And it's much like if you look at the early stages of the internet, mobile, social, all of those disrupted, areas of not only the economy, but of the business that were already in place for decades. And I think that's where we are today. The likelihood is you're going to lose those deposits anyway. The clear issue here is, how are banks going to implement this into their architecture? I think that's the question everybody's asking. But remember that the banks, commercial banks, donated $23 million to elect Republicans last year. And when you look at this, they ended up basically voting to overturn the overdraft fee cap that was out there. This is where it got a little bit nasty, I think, in the sense that banks were able to essentially push a lot of what's happening with the Republicans and really they were trying to position of why these overdraft fees had to exist. Take a look.